Mystery triathlon time. The Mustang task list is the Lone Ranger. Find the horse. Super Spike volleyball. Get 10 uh 10 points across any number of games. Does not have to be in one game, has to be 10 scored though. Let us see it. Clear the village, that's level 2. That's what we got for him today. Let's get it started. The Lone Ranger is actually, in a really obnoxious, clunky way, a pretty interesting game. Super Spike Volleyball is, I don't know how humans play it. It's too fast. The last one, pretty good looking platformer. Pretty interesting. Team up protagonist. I forget what system it's on though. Game Boy Advance, I'm thinking? Yeah, that's what it is. It is an action platformer. Some interesting ideas. This game has an incredibly long intro, so I'm gonna have them skip that. We'll be starting in just a minute, folks. This is the only thing I'm doing today. These people scheduled a game on my day off. I probably shouldn't let them do that, but here we are. It's fine. I'm up. I'm ready. I didn't go to sleep at 11 a.m. or anything. You know how it is. When you're just ready all the time and you don't sleep. Yeah. You can play this game with the zapper. I have no idea how that works. That doesn't make any sense. In fact, I'd like to see what the hell that means. What do you mean, zapper? How can you play a game like this with the zapper? It would appear that the game only uses the zapper a couple times, and mostly you use the controller even in zapper mode. It's like if you have a zapper, then you're good to play out a little bit. Have any of you played The Lone Ranger? It sounds like people have. It's a... I mean, do I really need to talk about who this guy is? He had a really stupid cowboy show. It was black and white. It was very famous. He has a Native American partner who is stereotyped to hell. And he wears a really dumb looking mask. This is the hero to children in 1940. I think it was a radio show as well. And since it's a radio show, it has no chance of being good. I've never been into that, but you know what? I never had a chance to be into it, I don't think. I don't feel like I ever had a radio show drama to listen to. It's the kind of thing that would be spoofed on, like, New Vegas. Silver doesn't seem like a good idea for bullets. That's true, I didn't consider the werewolf angle, though. One more player to say they're ready and we'll get started. Fuck's on. All right. The TV show ran from 49 to 57. Comic books, stuff like that. This video game is what I'm concerned about. Let's talk about that. I don't feel like there's much lore to miss here. We're talking about probably one of the original westerns, really, and especially radio dramas. But even so, you know, so that makes it pretty predictable, and you'll get what you expect out of it, and it's a trendsetter for a huge genre. But even so, that doesn't mean anything for the video game itself. It's got a lot in common with, like, Dick Tracy. You're gonna be meandering around town, trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Your goal in this challenge is to find the horse. It's missing. It's across the river. They have to go into Dodge City or whatever town this is and talk to people. If they shoot civilians, they'll be punished. They get money every time they kill any man in town. Will try to kill the Lone Ranger. He's very unpopular. If you kill them, though, you get $5 and you can start accumulating a fortune. The doctor costs $50 and it's a full heal. If they die in this challenge, they'll be starting from scratch. So there's that. More or less, what they're going to be doing is finding one NPC in town, talking to them, and setting off an event flag for the next one. They'll get some reasonable directions, honestly, at least for this challenge, about where to go. One of them has already found that they need to go to the bridge down there to find their horse. But the bridge is up, and the guy won't let them across because there's bandits. So now he has to go find the sheriff to get permission to use the bridge, and the sheriff is gonna say, "No, bitch, we got bandits." So now, you gotta deal with the bandits. And then, after that is done, you can finally get your horse. So really, ultimately, it's a really obnoxious quest to get your horse, and it's just level 1, is what they're doing here. They kill a boss, and then they can go get their dang horse. After just a little bit more back and forth between NPCs. That's the challenge. It took me about 10 minutes. And I gave them information about not dying. And that they should figure out how to use their gun. Very important that they figure out how to use their gun. They have one. The players who are punching are going to be in real trouble if they don't figure it out. They have a lot of bullets. This game has a really obnoxious reload system. You have a 6-shooter, so you're going to have to actually manage your ammo count. It actually does do that. The stereotypical Western apparently didn't actually give them infinite ammo yet. I haven't seen anyone... You'll know when they get to the right stage. The entire game changes to a platformer. A disgusting platformer. So no one's made it there yet. It will be very obvious when they do. Four minutes in, and minimal progress. Robo Termite went to the wrong city. So did Ivy. I think Ivy has spotted the quest, though. They seem to be on the right track. So there's these random encounters on the world map. They're just dudes. There's just like 10 cowboys hanging out on the mountain. If you fight them, you get money. That's all you get out of that battle. Ivy took a lot of damage from that, and I think is going to the doctor. I warned them very clearly that they should keep their health topped off, because honestly, the boss isn't that easy. And the boss isn't that easy, and if you die, you don't have any checkpoints in this. You're just starting back to... You have checkpoints, but the checkpoint is the horse. So for this challenge, you don't have a checkpoint at all. It's quite a ways. It's a long go. It's like an entire Final Fantasy zone, really, when you think about the way this game works. That isn't too far away from what we're looking at, really. Ivy is the first one I've seen to get here. Here it is. We are side-scroll platforming now. It sucks. It's pretty clunky. When I saw that the game had this in it, I knew I would use it for challenge. I wasn't really into the navigating the city part by itself. But when they merged in this dipshittery, this clunky platforming that I love. Man, those silver bullets don't travel very far. Ivy made that jump in one try. It took me 4. I was gonna say, after they missed it, that I also missed that jump, but they didn't. They beat it in one try. Nice work. I was assuming everyone would struggle with that, to the extent where I was wondering if I should write something about it. Ivy's at the boss. Best of luck. Made it here in 6 minutes, though. Not too long at all. They have a decent amount of health, but this boss probably takes 10 hits and very clearly doesn't skimp on their ammunition. Yeah, Ivy was defeated. Now they know what they're in for, at least. But they are starting over, and that's really obnoxious because of how tedious this is. They know exactly where to go, though, so we're going to see a little bit of a speed run as they go through the same 6 minutes of stuff. Wonder if the silver bullets do more damage. Maybe that's a good idea. Robo Termite also at the platforming stage, and Last Legend. Where did Hey Tallman game over at? Do you think this boss will kill everyone? He's not a boss that you can really damage race. You do have to evade him. The problem is, I don't feel like the Lone Ranger here has the agility to dodge bullets. He's not capable of it. That spam that guy unloads, it comes in 2 heights, and it's too much. Cannot evade all of it, so you're going to take some hits. Gonna want to have some health going in. I hope that on death your life savings is more than the $5 that these guys drop. It's like the Lone Ranger has Midas touch, except it's like 10. He turned their corpses into 10, and that's how much he got worth. We're gonna see if Last Legend can beat this boss with no damage. They do have silver bullets, apparently. He can't do it. He did show me how it's done, though. The boss also has a range limit. For some reason, your bullets taper off halfway across the screen. Boss 2. So that's the real way to dodge the undodgeable. You back off real hard. Can't wait for this game to be on the polls and win. This is gonna suck. I know this is on my playlist in the future. I know it. This challenge is about halfway done, and 3 people have seen the boss now. Now that Robo Termite is here with 6 health. I don't have a lot of confidence in it, but it could be done. There's no reason why it couldn't be done. It's just a surprisingly shitty boss. He's taken out. There's not really anything you can do beyond just be in good shape. Ivy died to something. I didn't see what it was. Oh, it's not a bad game, but it is very difficult and confusing, and I think it's interesting to see people try and solve it. 20 minutes doesn't give them a whole lot of time to solve this puzzle, and they did manage. Everyone here managed to solve the first one. There's a lot more of this in this game. This is the game. I don't know what the zapper section's like, but otherwise, this is the game. This is all of it. They've mixed in tedium and NPC quests into an action platformer. That's what they did. It's interesting. It makes it more interesting than a game that didn't, but none of it is done well. I mean, navigating the town is about as good as navigating it in Final Fantasy. It's on par with that, but having it mixed in there is just obnoxious as hell. So I can't say it's good, but it certainly is what makes this game stand out. I wonder why Ivy went back here. Hey Tallman has made it to the platforming stage, and Last Legend's back with a lot of health. Ultimately, this stupid boss is just going to be too hard, and it's going to stop some of the players from succeeding, I think. There are 7 minutes left, roughly. Robo Termite's going back in for a rematch, but he's half dead and he did not go to the doctors. And I'm surprised because he was killed by the boss. That surprises me that they are willing to go in on that without as much as they can get, since it's so annoying and so time consuming. Ivy killed the one in the way and is now going to the doctors. That's what it looks like. Maybe the gun store too. Oh, they needed money to go to the doctors. It's $50. They've got it. Man, this boss is pushing Last Legend against the wall. He's hiding up in the... Oh, damn. That was a good attempt. It's Robo Termite's time. Face the purple cowboy. He's a beast. Man, he aims and everything. He's a jerk. Robo Termite has a strategy. It worked! Robo Termite has beaten the challenge. Nice. Nice job. They haven't really beaten it yet. They still need a couple minutes to turn in their horse. I think killing a civilian makes you lose money, go to jail. Like, you actually are penalized for that. I warned them about that. Killing, the only civilians are the ladies. All the guys are bad. Every single guy walking around town is bad news. The Lone Ranger has a weird view of the world. But apparently the law backs him up. So, you're only punished for killing the ladies. I don't know exactly what the punishment is. I feel like you're fined, and you might even lose health. It's a pretty minimal penalty for what he did, but... Okay, so... Robo Termite has shown us that they need another 2 minutes, roughly, to go from killing the boss to getting their horse. So, if anyone's going to save any time, they better get moving on this boss now. Ivy's here. Using the silver gun. Trying to tank the boss. It does work. Full health with the silver gun. You can just beat him down with just full power. So Ivy's behind, but only by a minute or two as they go and get their horse. That's 2 people who have done it. And we're assuming, when I say that Ivy knows exactly what to do and will go and get... You know what? Let's play the Lone Ranger NES OST. I'm assuming that Ivy knows where to go. And that might not be the case. We'll see, I guess. Why doesn't this start with the title theme? Hey. Ivy got killed. Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. That's gonna be not enough time. What killed him? What killed Ivy? What killed him? Oh, no. This is a pretty good song for this. Killing a civilian does health damage, I guess? They almost had it. This game is very, very hard. It's incredibly fast when the AI spikes it at you. There it was. Like, it's so fast. You can play as Billy and Jimmy in this, by the way, if you want. You can pick them. I don't know if anyone did. I gave them the option to pick anyone they wanted. So, Billy and Jimmy are character choices on the beach in the apocalypse that they live in. They're just having a time. We are looking for 10 points across any number of games under the assumption that maybe they won't. I think volleyball goes to either 15 or 21. I think it's 15. But in any case, I'm looking for 10 points across any number of games. And these two players are doing really well. I told them how to do the super spike. You jump in the air, hit B 3 times, and then connect with the ball. You can tell if they're going to do it because their hand glows. It turns red. And that particular attack does a super dodgeball kind of thing where it knocks them on the floor if they try to interrupt it. Where's the title theme for the Lone Ranger here? I'm looking for it. There it is. This dumb jingle. That's right. Did Last Legend beat the challenge of Lone Ranger? Nice. Okay, so the only person who had to take a pass was Ivy, who should have been second on it, almost even first on it by a huge margin, but couldn't beat the boss on that run, and then got killed shooting straight. I guess we can play some Super Spike Volleyball. There are a lot of, there's a lot of volleyball games on the NES. Was this sport popular in the 80s or something? It seems like it's more popular on the NES than on... Well, Ivy just finished it. Nice work. Even beat the team. Like, did way better than I did at this. Here's some music for you from Super Spike Volleyball. If you haven't seen this game on the Game Boy Advance, it's pretty neat looking. It's very graphically sound platformer. They have the option to disable the tutorial if they want. I said that it's a gutsy move to do that because there's a couple controls that aren't too obvious, but most of them are. It's a pretty standard platformer in that regard. Pretty standard modern platformer, really. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a beat 'em up of sorts, but platforming is more highlighted than beating them up. You have a sneak button. A lot of the guards, those big guys, are asleep, and you can walk to get around them, so that's one thing that a tutorial will make very clear that you would miss out on. But I mean, you can wake them up and fight them if you want. Ivy's decided to use the tutorial, so we'll see all the controls while she's playing through it. Ivy did gain a lot of time on that. The couple minutes they lost on Lone Ranger are winding down on Robo Termite's volleyball experience. Robo Termite's doing really well at this, though, and was almost done. Also going to win their match, it looks like. Looks like the players only needed one game, and that's cool. They all did well, in my opinion. Yeah, that's it. Robo Termite moving on. We're gonna see a real close race here. I'm gonna go ahead and see exactly how much time Ivy lost to the Lone Ranger. I gotta find out, so that I have that information for when we find out who wins this thing. It is 3.5 minutes, almost exactly. Here's the exercise match. Super Spike Volleyball is indeed a Technos game. That's why Bill and Jimmy are in it. And why it looks the way it does. Let's find the soundtrack for this game, though. It sounds a little grindy. That's because it's a Game Boy Advance game. Robo Termite did what I did and fell right off the edge. You can grab ledges, but it's not really clear which ones you can grab. You have this ridiculous ring-charged projectile shot too, and it's really not very great. But you can use it to set off exploding barrels and such. Ivy's still in the lead. They're working on the tutorial stage. After that's over, they won't have much help from the game anymore. So this game has the weirdest thing about it, I'd say, is that it has a camera that is controlled with the D-pad that you're also using for moving. So if you're moving right, the camera pans towards that direction. But up and down also can be controlled that way. So you can always pan the camera, and that helps a lot. That's pretty good. The camera is not automatic, so it's not the best camera, but that you have control of it's nice. In this challenge, especially in level 2 here where Ivy is, we're gonna see some stuff hitting them from off screen. So Ivy, she'll have to pan the camera up and down to deal with those. That's gonna happen. If they don't, they're gonna get hit by all kinds of stuff. Ivy found the well. I told them about the well because I didn't want anyone to have to mess around with that. I wanted them to know where to go in town. She can't swim, so that's the end of her. Let's try again. Here's where we see stuff raining down from the ceiling. Also, those blue jaggies, they don't look like damage, and then they are, and I think that's silly. You have to crawl under every single one of those. Ivy saw the platform there. I was worried they would not. It's a long journey for that platform, so... This game isn't very easy, but it's also not wanting you to lose. So you have infinite continues, I think. You certainly have continues in any case. I don't know about how many they have, but they're not going to run out of those in this challenge, and they're pretty well checkpointed. They'll have to restart stage 2 That's all. None of these stages are that long. Ivy's making good progress. Robotermite's having trouble, I think, still on the tutorial. I don't know how long that 3.5 minutes will hold out, because Ivy is about to finish. You came to this village for your sword. It gives you a bunch of combo moves. You don't need to use the combo moves, but it tells you what they are, and if you do use them, the ending will wrap up a little faster. BRB, RBR. You just have these tanky idiots in your way, and if you don't use combos, they take forever. They still take forever, really. They just take 100 hits. You're supposed to use combos on them to reduce their health much faster. $29.15. Ivy's time is 32:45. Hey Tallman is also very quickly done with the challenge. I think did the best on this challenge. I wish my bot was up so I could get those kind of stats. I missed those stats. It was nice, but Hey Tallman is finished, and I think they did the best on this game. In any case, Tallman is definitely first place here. They are competing against Last Legion. So Ivy's still safe. Robotermite has about 2 minutes left to finish the stage, and they could do it. Unfortunately, they may be going the wrong way. This cave isn't too straightforward. Oh no, took a death. I think that's gonna be it. I think we have our winners. This song is called The Airport. Now that's interesting. They must be talking about the medieval planes that existed back then. Apparently, silver bullets pierce, and that's why Ivy ended up killing a civilian and losing that challenge. I want to pull them in for commentary if they're interested. Hello, Tallman.
There we go. I'm unmuted now.
Nice work. You won this whole pack.
Thank you. It wasn't that bad. Aside from Lone Ranger and accident after killing the bandits.
Ivy's the only one who didn't finish the Lone Ranger. She was on the boss in 6 minutes, died, got back at 16 minutes, and then shot a civilian on the way to get her horse.
So I think I died. Then my second run I beat the boss, but Silver Bullet, I think the Silver Bullets pierce enemies. Yeah, because so. I definitely shot the bandit and collateral damage killed the lady. Whoops. And that killed me. So I had to speed run. Thankfully, I figured the route out and knew the quickest. Ignored everything so I didn't have to freshen up the doctor. But yeah, aside from the Lone Ranger snafus, not too bad. I've certainly had worse sports games in triathlon.
I've had better volleyball games, but this one's all right.
I think last year I had super tennis, and all of us were struggling to score a single point, and I think the challenge was just win a game of tennis. And none of us could do it. It was so bad.
I remember tennis.
Yeah, and then I had never heard of Sia. It had that mid-2000s art style to it. Like, it looked kind of like a bunch of other games. But it wasn't that bad.
Well, you're definitely first place, so you'll be moving on. No question about that. I'm checking on the other two players.
Oh, right, because Ivy took a full 20 minutes on the first game, right?
Yes.
Hello. So sorry for being late. I wish I had a better excuse, but WoW Classic came out, and
classic WoW Classic move.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since 2004. No one can be bothered to look up from WoW to do anything else, apparently.
Oh yeah, I had silenced everything, so I was just like, la la la. All my alarms and everything are going off, and just smacking doors.
I had a character that was pretty broken in a way that was no fun for anyone but me, and I wouldn't mind going back to that, but I don't think that's what they mean by WoW Classic. I don't think they have a time capsule where I can just have endgame raid gear for a healing and DPS priest at the same time. I can't just hot swap to... Honestly, it was endgame mage gear that I had on a priest, and it didn't scale in a fair way, so I was pretty busted. Like
vanilla was pretty busted in general. There's so many different things that if you knew how to do it right, just breaking everyone's fun.
Guess I'm glad one of the challenges wasn't get to level 60. Wow.
I think I know it might be low quality, but I think I do have a video of me sitting on like a 10 versus 10 capture the flag map and just holding the entire team while my team went, like 9 of them would get the flag. Ribbon, you know what I'm talking about. You know what we were like. We would tank the entire raid. Like the allied forces would get on our horde Ventrilo and yell at us because they couldn't kill me and Ribbon just healing each other. And we're talking the 40-man Alterac Valley. We would just sit in front and heal each other, and they literally could not kill us.
Well, now would be a great time to upload it. I mean, the classic hype is high.
But I wish it wasn't so low quality. Also, it's got death metal on it because, you know, it's 2005 movie production.
Hey,
was it like
just that much more nostalgic?
I think it's Xvid.
God.
I misspelled the word "the" on purpose because it's 2005 and I'm 18 years old.
But oh yeah, I think that like all 3 of these games were not so bad at all. This is a relatively painless one, despite some of the garbage.
Yeah,
Honestly, I've played volleyball before, though, Super V-Ball.
Yeah, once I got the hang of it, I was pressing the wrong button to do the super spike. But once I got that figured out, like, and remembered that you can just jump and try to block their spike. Once I remembered how the mechanics of actual volleyball worked, it went kind of fine.
I was trying to avoid doing the block because I remember as a kid just never being able to do that right, and I forgot about the super spike until I already had like 7 points, so it didn't bring me any speed.
Well, Ivy did extremely well on volleyball. Like, instantly just got 10 points, and they did win as a result of that. Their speed on that game made up for the 3.5 minutes they took on Lone Ranger. Ultimately, it's 32:45 is correctly their time, so they won by about 60 seconds.
Wow.
Man, really cutting it close. Oh man. What was mine? 33:25?
33 something. It was pretty close.
Yeah, I know. Like, I had to stop my timer there for a minute because I didn't know if it was like actually clear the thing or beat shields. But
yeah, Ivy posted in the chat that they had finished. Like, I don't even think I played my first point of volleyball, and Ivy's done.
If Ivy did not die to the... If that stupid boss in the Lone Ranger wasn't so full of crap, Ivy would have been done in 6 minutes. Like, for real, they were there. It took them a long time to get that boss fight to happen. Even though they were way ahead of everyone else at that point, she was there in 6.5 minutes, dying to the boss, just barely. If they were just a little stronger, she could have pulled it off, but...
I've never fired a gun, so I didn't realize that bullets only had an effective 5 feet. And before the bullet just disintegrates into the air. Because apparently that's what Lone Ranger has taught me today.
just use guns on ledges. That's all you need. Doesn't matter how far you're gonna shoot. Just if you're on a ledge, that's all you need.
Yeah, the run where I actually finished the thing, I pretty much just forgot about the fists because they give you what, like 9 full rounds of 6 bullets each, I think. So I pretty much just shot anybody in my way and ignored everybody else. That seemed to be the good strat for that.
Yeah, the doctor prompt spooked me into not wanting to like go too hard with that. I was like, I gotta get the money up.
Silver bullets, man, though.
Were those actually better, like, at all?
They pierce enemies, is as far as I can tell the only difference.
Oh,
I learned that
all
the
those
hard
enemies
way.
are clumped together, like
very
all
hazardous.
the hundreds of.
Well, the other thing is that Ivy lost the challenge for shooting a civilian with piercing bullets.
Oh, jeez.
Just took out
I
a lady.
did the same thing.
Yeah, so instantly starting over while, on the way to get the horse, just 6 minutes lost, ultimately. Instantly gave up on the challenge.
Does that automatically kill you if you shoot a person, or does that just take like a good chunk of health?
I feel like it takes health and then you get thrown in jail or something. I feel like it's a severe, stupid penalty.
Because I was down to like 1 health bar, and I just had that one guy in front of me. I gotta just shoot this guy. And then it pierced and killed the lady, and so then I died.
They could have easily made that into just the mid fights. Like keep all the enemies in the mid fights. Just add more, make it longer or something. That like enemies in town was doing nothing for the game.
The idea that the checkpoint is at the horse and not after the boss ultimately meant that Ivy had to do the entire challenge again instead of was just needed to talk to the sheriff and then go to the bridge and go get the horse. That's all that was left. Died there. Didn't expect that. I looked up and they were dead. Oops. I thought everyone was gonna clear it. It looks like an interesting, messy game though.
Yeah. Let me check, because I died pretty far into the thing, but speed ran it pretty good. Yeah, it looks like I died again at. All right, so my total is 17 minutes and something. I died at about 11, so the whole thing can be done in about 5-6 minutes.
Alright, well, I better go get back in this amazingly long queue and waste my life. But good game, everybody.
Yeah, GG's, everybody. Looks like I got a little bit to wait until my next match. It looks like I have one match to wait for.
Man, this video is blurry. I'm watching this crap that I made. There's an entire section devoted to me putting a dot on somebody, and then they would ride off and die because my dot does like 8,000 health damage when the average health in that game at the time was 4,000. So I just have an entire minute of footage of me just watching someone die and not being able to do anything about it.
Good God.
What a good class. What a good game. Love to just fear 5 people at once. Thanks. That was when you could just levitate up a mountain. You could just sit on the side of it and mind control people off. What a masterpiece. Anyway, that's it for me. It's my day off. Thanks for coming by, everybody, even though that's the case.
Thanks for hosting the race, Smite.
Nice work. I'll see you in the next match.
All right. Take it easy.
I see Aqua's playing Elevator Actions. That we did that game on the Game Boy, but I'm going to host him. He's doing the PS2 version, I think. Have a good night, everybody.